What if Deku joined Team JPDE? Chapter 63. Redheads. Friday. Day 159. As Deku was having breakfast in the mess hall, he was thinking about Weiss and Winter, and their relationship. Specifically remembering what was said. Deku let out a long sigh. Love. Is something the matter? Evelyn asked. Yes, Deku said. Mind telling me what's got you so down? Evelyn asked. My snowflake and the Ice Queen. And I'm going to sort it out now, Deku said. Deku then left the table and headed over to where Team RWBY were. Weiss, Deku said. Izuku, what can I do for you? Weiss asked. You can come with me now. I need your help, Deku said. What do you? Weiss asked, blushing. Deku then dragged Weiss away. Wait. Hold on. Right now. If that what you want, Weiss said. Seems like Izuku is in a mood. Wish he went for the dragon instead of the snowboard, Young said. Young. Weiss was just absconded by Izuku, and is taking her to. Oh, never mind, Ruby said. Will Weiss be able to stand afterwards? Blake asked. I doubt it, Young said. Well, it was nice knowing you, Weiss. I shall remember you, Ruby said. I'm still in earshot, you know. And I'm not going to die, Weiss yelled. Debatable, Young said. Deku had taken Weiss to the garden. All right, far enough from everyone and everything, Deku said. Out here. I thought you were going to take me to your room, but I don't mind if you want to ravish me out here, Weiss said. Wait, what? Deku asked. Never mind. Just forget that. So, what is it you wanted to talk to me about? Weiss asked. Okay then. Listen, I'll cut to the chase. Weiss, what's the deal with your older sister? Deku asked. I wish I knew, Weiss said. So I gather it's not like her to be this overprotective? Deku asked. Not at all. Also because of distance. She left home when she transferred from Atlas Academy to the Atlas Military's Officer Candidate School. Since then I started seeing her less and less, Weiss said. I see. Then maybe she changed during the time spent away. How long ago was this? Deku asked. 10 years ago, Weiss said. I see. I must say Winter looks very good for her age, Deku said. I would hope so. She's only 24, Weiss said. How? Deku said. Atlas Academy is what you'd call an escalator school. It offers teaching for all grades, up to and including hunter specialization, Weiss said. Okay. Does that also mean the Officer Candidate School open to teens? Deku asked. There's no rule against it. But Winter is the youngest person in the history of Atlas to pass the entrance test, Weiss said. Impressive, Deku said. Indeed. She's always been above and beyond any of her peers, and even so, modest and easygoing. Even back when she was studying as a hunter, she had the opportunity to skip years, but she never did. She said that having peers to relate to was also an important part of growth. She had so many friends. The Ice Queen person you're more familiar with came later, Weiss said. I bet the changes came about when she decided she wanted a career in the military, Deku said. Yes. I was young, so I don't exactly know what transpired, but Winter suddenly decided to transfer schools. To change her path altogether. And that's also when she decided to distance herself from the Schnee family name and from our family altogether. I'm the only one she still regularly keeps in touch with. Or at least I was, Weiss said. You haven't heard from her since? Deku asked. No, and I regret saying those words to her. Not that I didn't mean them, but I miss her, and I want to understand, Weiss said. Deku then moved to hug Weiss. That's what hurts the most. The realization that, for all that I admire her and want to be like her, Strong, independent, someone to look up to. I don't really know my sister. I only know the image she let me build in my head, Weiss said. Meanwhile in Vale. A refill, please, Winter said. Of course, miss. Would you maybe also like something to eat with it, the barman asked. You got anything bitter, Winter asked. After classes had ended for the day, Team JPDE, Amber, Titania, Janera and Professor Peach had gathered in Peach's classroom, to hear what Deku had to say about aura, semblance and magic. So, what makes you think aura, semblance and magic are related, Amber asked. I've been waiting eagerly for your explanation, Peach said. Even after trying to process your theory, I still can't understand it, Penny said. Well, I hope I can make you see the connection between them. I'll start with the basics first. What is aura, exactly, Deku asked. Aura is the manifestation of one's soul to create a barrier to protect us from harm and fuels the use of our semblances, Jack said. And what is a semblance, Deku asked. A semblance is the manifestation of one's innate and personal power as an ability unique to each individual, with the effects varying greatly from user to user, Evelyn said. Good now. What is magic, Deku asked. The other remained silent. Well, as the only person in the room with magical training and knowledge. Magic is a mysterious power said to be from long ago. The magic I and the other maiden inherited was originally given to 4 girls, by an old man, as described in the fairy tale. It allows us to create anything we can think of. That's about all I really know, Amber said. Thank you, Amber. Would you mind creating some ice, Deku asked. Sure, Amber said. Amber then created some ice. Izuku, where are you going with this, David asked. You'll see. Hey Jack, think fast, Deku said, throwing a pen at Jack. Jack instinctively activated her semblance, absorbing the kinetic energy from the pen. What the fuck, Izuku, Jack yelled. Janera, Deku said. Yeah, Janera asked. What's happened to that pen, Deku asked. It stopped and fell to the ground, Janera said. Yes, but what has happened to the pen? What is different about the pen, Deku asked. It's covered in ice, Janera said. Yes, and what did I ask Amber to do, Deku asked. Create ice, Titania said. Yes. Now the methods may have been different, but they both created ice, Deku said. But me freezing things is just a side effect of my kinetic absorption, Jack said. But ice was created. You just need something with kinetic force to do so. It's like a lesser version of Amber's ice magic, David said. Yes, that's what I think a semblance is, a lesser version of magic. A remnant of magic, if you would. Magic uses ether from the air, whilst a semblance uses aura from the user, and I don't think those similarities are a coincidence, Deku said. Oh. My. God's Peach said. This could change everything, Amber said. Hold on, but why does aura act as force field and ether doesn't, Janera asked. To be honest, I don't really have an explanation. I could be all wrong about this, but my best guess is that aura is a mix of a defense spell and an MP bar. We're in the unknown here, Deku said. We'll have to conduct some more research. But we should probably wait until this whole thing with the boss is over, Penny said. Perhaps at the start of the new school year. We are close to getting down to the mines, David said. I can't wait that long to study a new field of science. I already have so many questions and theories, Peach said. I guess we can have a little theory storming of the relation between magic, semblance and aura right now during lunch, Jack said. Perfect. Izuku, what other bombshells do you have to drop, Peach asked. Well, another thing that made me see the link. We know that the powers of the maiden's powers are passed down to a young woman, be it random or the last young woman in their thoughts. Whereas semblances are usually unique to an individual, be it the power itself or the secondary effect, like Jack's and Young's payback powers, or Blake's and Sun's clone abilities. But there are a few semblances that are all the same, Deku said. The shiny semblance, Evelyn said. And the peach said. They continued to talk and theorize all through lunch, coming up with all sorts of theories, before heading to their next class. Meanwhile in the safe house. It's always sad, packing and leaving. These walls have seen so many memories being created. But alas, every beginning is another beginning's end. It's time to say goodbye and move on. Has everyone packed all of their belongings? Weser asked. What little of them we have, Thilla said. Oh, I'm sure we will be able to find more along the way. After all, we have a celebration to prepare, Weser said. A celebration? What exactly are we celebrating? Bella asked. Now, that's a surprise, Andrea said. And why do you know about it? Bella asked. He doesn't. He just likes to play second banana to Weser, now Howard said. All will be revealed in due time, no worries. Suffice to say, the boss is going to have guests for the first time in decades. And we need to prepare for their coming, Weser said. Deku was in his dorm room, and he had a question to ask Penny. Penny, where did you find a silk rope and why? Deku asked. Oh, that. Well. I've been researching intimate group activities and, Penny said. Let's just say you and I are the reason Penny knew all of those knots, Evelyn said. Fair enough. Guess you two wanted revenge. It was unexpected but fun, Deku said. Fun enough to do it again, sometime, Evelyn asked. Once you get a new silk rope, I wouldn't mind. Sorry about destroying it, Deku said. Oh, it's fine, Aiju. Whilst we enjoyed tying you up, Evelyn said. We prefer being tied up, Penny said. You want to do later on? Deku asked. Absolutely, Penny and Evelyn said. Eager much? Deku asked. We've always eager. And speaking of eager. You have any idea what that was all about with Nora? Evelyn asked. I don't know. I mean, Nora's cool if a bit out there, but then again, that's most of the people I've met so far in Beacon, Deku said. You think she may be interested in what you're selling, too? Evelyn asked. I don't know. It's more like she was interested in seeing me react to what she was offering, Deku said. Maybe. That could be considered as testing the merchandise, Penny said. Well, don't I feel like a piece of meat now? What do you mean? Deku asked. Well, not everyone looks for the same thing in a partner. And you mentioned talking to her teammate, Ren, and that he told you that they didn't make it work, right? Evelyn asked. Right. So, what she was doing was testing me to see if I had what she was looking for, Deku asked. Affirmative. That's my theory, Penny said. What was she trying to test with that? That I get embarrassed by beautiful women, Deku asked. So you find her beautiful? Evelyn asked. Evelyn, everyone here is the own kind of stunning and beautiful, you know that, Deku said. I do. I guess she wanted to see if you reacted to things she did the right way, Evelyn said. The right way? I think it's pretty obvious I like women, Deku said. Not like that. It's not like every fish is a hole for all men. I think she wanted to verify that she was up your alley and that. Well, that she could dom you basically, Evelyn laughed. Well, she can't do that now. She can't get in my head anymore, Deku said. If you say so. Although, what if she stops trying to be a tease and decides to have an actual conversation, Evelyn said. It would be a nice change from all the teasing. Perhaps then our relationship could move forward. In whatever direction she wants, Deku said. Well, there's no use worrying about it now. If Nora comes knocking for out hunky, we'll deal with her, Evelyn said. I agree. Now, I'm going to head to the gym. You two want to come with me? Deku asked. We'd love to, but we have to head into Vale to buy a replacement Or 2, Penny said. Or 3. Or 4, Evelyn said. Okay, I get it. I'll see you two later, Deku said. Goodbye, Izuku, Penny said. Have a good workout, and don't let the ginger boobs bite, Evelyn said. Yeah. Goodbye, Deku said, heading for the gym. Meanwhile in Team JNPR's room, Nora was practicing with the cherries Ren had gotten her. Quickest time yet. How was it, Ren? Nora asked. You did it, Nora. 3 seconds flat. You managed to hit your objective, Ren said. Took a little longer than I would have liked, but whatever. I did it. Now I just need to set up my plan and execute it on the presumptuous green bean, Nora said. Hey. I understand the aim is to shock and awe, but try and go easy on him, Ren said. No promises, Nora said. Nora then left. Ren. Start talking, Jaun said. Ren said. First of all, is there a body to be buried anytime soon? And if yes, how deep do we need to make the hole, Jaun asked. Not likely. And I wouldn't know, never hidden a body before, Ren said. Well, there's a first time for everything, isn't there, Jaun said. Ren, seriously. I've seen Nora do some weird stuff before, but this. What's the sense of it? I've never seen Nora so focused on anything, Pyrrha said. Well, yes, it makes sense. I don't think Nora has ever been this particular side of her challenged. She took it as a matter of pride, and was thus worthy of her focus, Ren said. Yeah, training, we heard her declare it. What I want to know is what kind of training leaves you with a bucket of chewed up cherry stems, Pyrrha asked. Not exactly chewed up. Look closely, Ren said. Do we really have to, Jaun asked. The hint is in the bucket, Jaun. Just take a glance, Ren said. Fine, Jaun said. What kind of hint, Pyrrha asked. Jaun and Pyrrha then looked into the bucket. Oh. You, Jaun said. What is it, Jaun? Pyrrha asked. The stems aren't chewed up. They are in knots, Jaun said. Well, so, Pyrrha asked. So, you and Nora really aren't, Jaun asked. She told you herself that one time. No, it's someone else, Ren said. Stop keeping me out of the loop. What kind of training is that? For what, Pyrrha asked. It's for training dexterity with your tongue. People do it to get better at kissing, Jaun said. Oh my, Pyrrha said. Deku entered the gym to find it empty, which he found odd. He would come here almost every day after school at the same time, and it would usually be packed. Deku didn't dwell on it and continued to his workout. Little did he know, however, that was earlier this morning Nora had put a closed for maintenance sign out front, which she had removed before Deku arrived and had now placed back before entering. Well, if it isn't old Izuku, Nora said. Huh? Nora, Deku asked. Indeed. Little old me. And it appears to just be little old me. Why is the gym so empty? Nora asked. I have no idea, but let's not waste this time alone, Deku said. Yeah. Mind helping me grab some stuff? Nora asked. I don't mind at all, Deku said. Nora and Deku then headed to the gym storage room. Say. I have a question, Nora said. What is it, Nora? Deku asked. I know Ren told you that we're not together. Did he also tell you why? Nora asked. He didn't tell me why exactly. He just told me that you couldn't work something out, Deku said. Yeah. And that is, well. How do I say this? Okay, let's put the term out there. Do you know what an asexual person is? Nora said. I see now why you two didn't work out. Ren has no desire or need for sex. Whilst you, Deku said. Yeah. I may have a terribly high libido. Puberty hit me hard. Still hasn't relented, who knows if it ever will. And asexual or not, Ren did try to help. And that's when I found out that there's little worse than seeing no trace of satisfaction or reciprocal pleasure in the eyes of the person you love, Nora said. I can't imagine how you must have felt. The person you truly love, not showing any signs of pleasure and enjoyment, just trying to perform and satisfy your libido, Deku said. Yeah, so we called it quits. I've even offered to try and restrain myself, but, considering our lives growing up, Ren couldn't bear the thought of me undergoing more privation on his behalf. But then, he got an idea. An idea which I was pretty skeptical about, at first, but I now think that with the right person, it may work, Nora said. Makes sense, getting your sexual needs satisfied by someone else, you could make it work, Deku said. Bingo. But of course, I can't pick anyone, you know. I need someone who's kind, open-minded, patient with my bullcrap as much as Ren is. On top of finding me absolutely bombastic. And I think we've pretty much checked all those boxes with you, haven't we, Nora asked. Quite. Although Deku said. Yeah, I may have gone a little overboard with the testing, but you have no idea how gratifying those kind of reactions out of you was, after years of blank stares, Nora said. I see. Now I kind of feel bad about bursting your bubble, Deku said. About that. Remember what you said to me, Nora asked. We talking about a specific sentence, here, Deku asked. Yeah. I'm no longer the same person you remember, Nora said. How, Deku said. Think fast, Nora yelled. Nora then jumped at Deku, making him catch her in her arms. Nora. What are, Deku yelled. My hero. You caught me, Nora said. Nora, what are you doing, Deku asked. You deserve a reward, Nora said. Nora then kissed Deku, using the technique she had developed with the cherries. Like the taste of cherries. Fun fact, it's not lip gloss, it's just a side effect of my training, Nora said. Deku remained silent. What's the matter? Bombastic ginger got your, Nora said. Nora wasn't able to finish her sentence, before Deku pinned her to the wall and started kissing her. Nora was taken by surprise but didn't resist at all. Deku then proceeded to satisfy Nora's sexual needs, leading to Nora passing out, but not Deku. Afterwards Deku left the gym. He was walking back to his dorm where he ran into Evelyn and Penny returning from Vale. Oh, hello Izuku. Just coming back from the gym, Penny said. What perfect timing. Let's, Evelyn said. Evelyn was interrupted by Deku picking the both of them up and lifting them over his shoulder and carrying them away to their room, where he proceeded to use the new silk ropes on them. Deku had gone to the lab ship to speak with Enrico. Mr. Polendina, good evening, Deku said. Mr. Midoriya. A surprised Enrico said. Yeah, I understand. I've never sought you out on my own, alone, Deku said. Indeed. And that makes me curious. What can I do for you, Enrico asked. Well, it's about Miss Winter, Deku said. You have a soft spot for women, don't you, Izuku, Enrico said. Excuse me, Deku asked. I've of course heard of what transpired and led to the leave of absence for Winter. Including the pernicious method of interrogation she applied. And even after going through that, here you are trying to understand her side of the equation and using an honorific, Enrico said. It's not because of that. If this only affected her, I could have maybe let it go, Deku said. Maybe, how, Enrico said. But this whole situation is crushing Weiss, too. And I just can't stand the thought of her like that. And after giving it some time, there's clearly something that happened to Winter to make her act that way. Something made her click when confronted with this whole situation. But Weiss was too young to be privy to something Winter kept secret for more than 10 years. So I was wondering if you could help me with that, Deku asked. Well, I'm sorry to say, Izuku, that despite having been in my protective service for more than 18 months, we never became familiar enough for me to be privy to her past, Enrico said. I see, Deku said. But I know someone who may know it, Enrico said. Really? Who is it? Deku asked. Well, during the time spent around me, I noticed that Winter had 2 different personalized ringtones on her scroll that separated 2 numbers from everyone else. One, of course, belonged to Weiss, Enrico said. And the other one? Deku asked. I don't know. But unlike with Miss Weiss's calls, when receiving this second number's calls, Miss Winter was incredibly secretive. If you'd like, I can find out that number and who it belongs to, Enrico said. That's a gross invasion of privacy, Deku said. So is finding out about a past she hasn't revealed to even her sister. In for a penny. Pun not intended, Enrico laughed. Deku sighed. I guess you're right. I'd welcome your help, Mr. Polendana, Deku said. Oh, not mine specifically. I'm not that good at hacking. Just a moment. Seal, my dear, I need your help in hacking someone's scroll, Enrico said. What? Seal asked. Meanwhile in Vale, Winter was still in the same bar she was in the morning. She then got a call from her scroll. No, Winter said, declining the call. I can't put this on her shoulders, as well, Winter said. No, this won't do at all, a voice said. A drunken crow then walked up to Winter. Damn whippersnappers coming here, trying to beat my record for the biggest tab. This is my territory you're invading, young lady, Crow said. First, I'm not a kid. Second, you're not that old. Third, I don't keep a tab, I pay for everything, Winter said. The disrespect, I swear. Second, I'm old enough to demand reverence. Third, well, I don't have anything to say to that, Crow said. You're drunk, aren't you? Winter asked. First, could have fooled me. Only kids try to drown their problems in alcohol, Crow said. Are you seriously trying to lecture me about drinking away your problems? Winter asked. Do as I say, not as I do, etc. Also, it's not my problems I try to drown, Crow said. Anyway, I'm not even drinking. On a level that would require worrying, Winter said. Then why have you been coming here every single day since you got put on leave by the Tin Man? Crow asked. Are you stalking me? Winter asked. Don't flatter yourself, specialist. You've just been hitting my favorite local watering hole, Crow said. I just don't want to be alone with my thoughts. A concept I'm sure you're familiar with, Winter said. Oh, you have no idea. Thing is, that's easier done when you're with someone else, you know. Now, I'm all done and out of options. But I'm sure you have a person or two to speak to, Crow said. I don't have any friends, Winter said. Did you hear me use the word friend in that sentence? Crow asked. No, Winter said. Why? Crow asked. They both got enough on their plate as it is. They don't need my baggage, Winter said. They will come offer you a hand, Crow said. Then I will take a page out of your book and turn them away, Winter said. They may try and find out on their own. What then? Crow asked. I don't know. But the only way for that to happen would be to put their pieces together. And they're not on speaking terms. So, I doubt it's an eventuality I will have to worry about anytime soon, Winter said. Back at Beacon, Deku was on a call. I thank you for your time, and this has been tremendously helpful, Deku said. Remember, you're part of the deal, the person said. Saturday. Day 160. Pyrrha was preparing to go into Vale with Izuku. She was currently deep in thought. Pyrrha, Jaun said, breaking Pyrrha out of her thoughts. You've got this, Jaun said. You're right. I do, Pyrrha said. Now go get changed, Jaun said. Changed? Pyrrha questioned. Yeah. You can't go out dressed normally. You'll be recognized instantly. You better wear something else unless you want to be interrupted, John said. You're right again, John. I'll go change, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha then went to change. So, where is Pyrrha going? Nora asked. On a date with Izuku to tell him she likes him, John said. John, maybe I'm losing my marbles in my young age, but didn't we verify last time that wasn't the case? Nora asked. It wasn't. But it is now, John said. Excuse me, Ren asked. I've figured it out. Pyrrha wasn't trying to get together with Izuku or David, she was asking for their help in trying to romance someone else, John said. They? What? Nora asked. Sadly, their efforts were in vain. The guy didn't return her feelings. Hell, he didn't even notice her efforts, or see her as an actual girl. But Izuku did. Hell, he knew from the start. And seeing her hurt and struggle because of it. He couldn't leave her alone, but she wouldn't let him be close enough to help her, so he forced that closeness. And now it's his turn to not notice. But I think he's about to have a wake-up call. And unlike the first guy, I think there's a good chance he'll return her feelings, John said. John. Do you know who the first guy was? Nora asked. John just left the room with a smile. I can't take it anymore, Nora yelled. Nora then smashed a window. Yeah, if she hadn't done it, I would have, Ren said. Deku was currently waiting at the Bullhead landing for Pyrrha to arrive. Izuku, Pyrrha called. Deku turned to see Pyrrha running towards him, but she looked different. Her hair was down and she was wearing what looked like a black with gold lining version of her combat clothes. Sorry I'm late. Had to make a quick wardrobe change, Pyrrha said. I can see that. What's with the new threads? Deku asked. More like old threads. This was a prototype for my current combat outfit. I really liked it, but my coach suggested I wear something with more colors to stand out in tournaments. As much as I liked this outfit, my coach was right, Pyrrha said. That's a shame. I really like the black and gold look, Deku said. Thanks, Pyrrha said, blushing. As for why I'm wearing this, I thought about being recognized in Vale. I don't want to be surrounded by my fans, if possible, Pyrrha said. Makes sense. Shall we head to Vale? We've got date spots to find, Deku said. Deku and Pyrrha then headed into Vale. Deku and Pyrrha went to several date spots. So, any date spots catch your eyes? Deku asked. Whilst they were all great spots, I don't think any of them are right for a confession. None of them really speak. Hey, I brought you here because I like you, Pyrrha said. Yeah. Knowing the guy, he'd probably just see it as a fun and cool place to go, Deku said. Yeah, Pyrrha said. Say, how about after lunch, I'll show you show spots I go with Evelyn and Penny. As you can probably guess, they're a lot more romantic, Deku said. Thanks, but I'm not sure even those will work, Pyrrha said. I'm sure he's not that dense, but if so, you may have you use your actions rather than words, Deku said. I don't think I could do that, Pyrrha said. You never know until you try, Deku said. Pyrrha looked at Deku. You're right, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha then moved closer to Deku. Oh my gods. Who's that with Pyrrha? A civilian yelled. Deku and Pyrrha jumped. They began to panic, but then realized the civilian wasn't looking at them. They turned to see what she was looking at. They saw a giant billboard with a picture of the two of them from the photo shoot. Oh my, Pyrrha said. When you asked me to do that shoot with you, I was expecting to be in a magazine, not on a billboard, Deku said. Neither did I, Pyrrha said. Is that her boyfriend? Another girl asked. No way, a boy asked. How long has she had a boyfriend? Another boy asked. I think we should quickly leave, Deku said. I agree, Pyrrha said. Deku and Pyrrha quickly left. Sorry about that. I didn't, Pyrrha said. It's alright, Pyrrha. It was bound to happen eventually, I just didn't expect that to happen, Deku said. I'll have a talk with them and get them to release a statement saying we aren't dating, Pyrrha said. Perhaps wait a few days. You did want John to think you were seeing someone to make him jealous, Deku said. Well, if you're sure, Pyrrha said. But he's not the one anymore, Pyrrha said quietly. What was that, Deku asked. It was nothing. Let's continue, Pyrrha said. Okay. On to Deku said. Deku was then interrupted by thunder. The two looked to see a storm quickly approaching, and before they could do anything, the heaven opened. The two quickly dashed to the nearest open building. Well, I was not expecting that today either, Deku said. Gods! Look at all the rain. The bullheads won't be flying in that. Hopefully, it'll pass soon, Pyrrha said. Unfortunately, that won't be the case. This storm is supposed to last the rest of the day, the receptionist said. Well then, got any free rooms, Deku asked. We have one, the receptionist said. Then we'll take it, Deku said. It's the penthouse, the receptionist said. Fuck, Deku said. We'll take it, Pyrrha said, putting her card down. Pyrrha, Deku said, remembering Pyrrha not wanting to be recognized. Don't worry about it, Izuku. I have the money to spare. I'll pay for it, Pyrrha said. At least let me pay you back half, Deku said. Not to be rude, but you don't have the line to even pay a quarter, Pyrrha said. Then I'll pay you back later, Deku said. I said not to worry about it, okay? I won't accept even 1 lien from you, Pyrrha said. I can't, Deku said. You can and you will, Pyrrha said. Okay, here's the penthouse key card, penthouse elevator on your left, the receptionist said. Thank you, Pyrrha said. The two began to walk to the elevator, but the receptionist grabbed Pyrrha. You must really like him if you're willing to spend this much on him, the receptionist whispered. Pyrrha was confused, until the receptionist pointed at a sign behind her. They were in the biggest loved hotel in Vale. Pyrrha's face went as red as her hair. If you need anything, or anyone, just give me a call and I'll be right up, the receptionist winked, letting Pyrrha go. Pyrrha didn't say anything as she left for the elevator. And she remained silent on the lift ride up. Wow. This is nice, Deku said. It is, Pyrrha said. Alright, let's have a shower and hang our clothes to dry. I'll let you have the shower first, could you just pass me a towel before, Deku said. I will, Pyrrha said, before entering the bathroom, giving Deku a towel before entering the shower. Ye better do it, Pythia said. Do what, Pyrrha asked. Confess ye feelings, obviously, Pythia said. But now's not the right time or place to, Pyrrha said. Bullshit. It's now or never. Because if ye don't then I will, Pythia said. But, Pyrrha said. No buts. I don't want to see you dance around another boy, I'm taking over, Pythia said. Wait. Don't, Pyrrha yelled. Pythia then took control. Meanwhile, Deku had gotten out of his clothes and had hung them up. Shortly afterwards, a call from Penny had gotten through. Really, Evelyn asked. Yeah. We won't be able to return until tomorrow, Deku said. But I was looking forward to our snuggle time, Evelyn said. Don't worry, Evelyn, you can join mine and David's snuggle time. You alright with that, David? Penny asked. You won't hear me complaining, David said. Lucky you, Deku said. I'd say you're the lucky one. Getting to spend the night with Pyrrha, David said. Ha ha, very funny. You know it's not like that, Deku said. I know, but it's fun to tease you, David said. Deku rolled his eyes. Hey, Izuku, Pyrrha said. Oh, Pyrrha, all washed up, Deku asked, turning to face Pyrrha. Deku then saw Pyrrha wearing a silk robe that looked quite small on her and was partially see-through. Deku's face went as red as Pyrrha's hair. Yeah. But before you head into the bathroom, there's something I need to say, Pyrrha said. Okay. What? What is it? Deku stuttered. Things didn't go as I had planned today, but actions speak louder than words, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha then jumped at Deku, kissing him, and they fell on the bed. Izuku, Pyrrha said, breaking from the kiss. Pyrrha, Deku said. Deku and Pyrrha then continued kissing. Oh, things are getting good, Evelyn said. Should we be listening? David said. Yes, Penny and Evelyn said. The three then starting hearing moaning, skin pulping, and creaking from the scroll. Deku and Pyrrha went all through the evening and long into the night. End of chapter 63.